Hello, it's your pal John Lees. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, so I thought I'd update y'all and explore something that if you're a creator, you might have something similar yourself. But um, in this cupboard here, I keep a little shelf, which is my comic shelf, and not like comics of other people. This is my own comics, my own little bibliography of books. Um, and I showed you in a previous post my kind of bookshelf, which has all the collections, all the kind of nice polished stuff. This isn't the polished stuff. This is all the various single issues I've done over the years, and I try and keep at least one copy of everything I've worked on, every variant cover. So I thought it'd be nice to take a little walk down memory lane and have a look through some of this stuff. So let's dig in inside here and see what we've got. Hang on one second. Here we go. This is the first big pile. Oh, right, let's see what we've got here. This is this one here is the standard issue 6, Glasgow exclusive. This was a Glasgow Comic Con exclusive variant cover I did. Well, art by Chris Connolly. Where this was back in 2014, I believe, Glasgow Comic Con 2014. Issues 5 and 6 were finished, but weren't due for a diamond release until October that year, I believe, and they were going to get released together as a kind of like double-sized finale issue. So this is actually the only time ever that issues 5 and issue 6 were released as individual volumes, which is quite cool. And here was another cover also done by Chris Conley. This is the villain of the series, the Don. I don't think he was ever actually named as the Don in the script, but nice thick paper stock quality. And they had these little cool kind of quote covers in the back. And this one, standard never lets anyone down, never. This is kind of the ominous finale. So these are quite cool. And speaking of Glasgow Comic Con exclusives, we also have this exclusive for issue 4, which had a cover by Ian Laurie. This was the previous year, Glasgow Comic Con 2013. And this is a cool image of Ian Laurie fighting the corpse. Because issue 4 is, of course, all about the Standard coming face to face with the corpse. And this cool panel, which is one of my favourites that Jonathan Knight ever did. Seems we're going backwards here because just that's the order I've put them on here, but we've got now the regular cover for issue 3. I've actually got 2 of that in here. Let's see. Oh, they're both colour versions as well. Yeah, so that's just the regular cover. Also got double it seems of this one, which is, oh no, I think they're slightly different editions. Ah, yeah, that's why I've got these two ones. This was the previous edition that get made, and I think this was the one that we made for conventions, possibly, in an early run, with the comic stripe covered in the back. And then this was the one that got the direct market release. Ah, yeah, that's it, because it's got all the back matter. Yep, yes, this is, so the difference is, this was just a basic kind of comic we did for conventions, I think, and this is the edition where we got the diamond release. So yeah, we have a little letters page in the back. Yeah, that's the difference. I wonder why I had 2 volumes. And the same thing applies here. This is the issue 2 cover that we got made to kind of print on demand, and this was the diamond edition with the back matter again. Some cool stuff about the making of some pages, and yeah, this is a more polished edition. And now we have the New York Comic Con exclusive variant cover of issue 1. This one was in 2012. That was the year that Jonathan Rector was actually at the show, and he did some signings of this cover that he made exclusively for the show. Again, pretty cool. But I think this is the only one I've got left in these. And now we have the regular diamond edition of issue 1 of the Standard. This is the one that sold out everywhere, and there's very few copies around in circulation these days that I know of. Yes, the back matter and stuff in here. And you'll notice that I treat my comics terribly for all, I mean, I've been doing a lot with the speculator market and things with Sync, and these people take their comics seriously and everything's mint and kept in bag and boards, and I've never been really one to do that in my comics. Mine's get manhandled and well loved, so these are just rammed in a drawer, probably creased to hell. And here is Quilt. This was actually not the Halloween Comic Fest version. This is the version we did before Halloween Comics Fest, where me and Ian released it as a convention exclusive book at Edinburgh Comic Con. And so yes, a bit of a, you feel like the paper material is a bit sturdier. It's a bit more of a kind of hefty book, rather than a little more flimsier free comic version we got. Well, this is actually something I didn't even know I had anymore. This is, I know the kind of original print run of Sync, the convention edition of issue 1, got a lot of buzz. This is actually even older than that. This was the pitch book that I made, a kind of little ash can, which there was only ever made. I think we only ever made like 10 or 20 of these. And you'll notice we didn't have the Tim Daniel logo at that point, so Colin Bell put together a really plain kind of logo in the front, kind of understated. And this basically was a little thing which we took around to various editors. So if you have a look, we've got the kind of credits in the inside cover. Then we've got a kind of little pull quote in the inside. Once you start walking, don't stop for nothing, don't stray from the main road, you understand? There are worse things out on streets of St. Hill on Friday night than dickheads, worse things even than me. And then it goes straight into the kind of the infamous blue van sequence with the clowns. And then it goes into kind of like the pitch document, the kind of like little outline that we wrote about what the series is about. And then what we did is, because it's a series of one-shots, it's really hard to actually pitch it. So we did little individual pitches for each issue. So I would write a kind of little synopsis of what the issue is about, and Alex did a kind of little kind of montage style trailer of the various key beats of the issue. So we have Alex getting out partying, the van, busman Bob, then him kind of getting chased down by the dickheads, and then Mr. Dig fighting the dickheads. In issue 2 again, it was the kind of door at the end outline. We've got kind of like the dead body and Shannon, and so again they just kept on doing this for each issue. Head full of wasps. Artisan Burger was actually the lost Sync issue, the issue which is never going to get made as far as I know. So it was a kind of creepy kind of mystery, kind of a comedy a little bit, actually the funniest script which is in the series, maybe why it was easy to cut out. And yes, it's about this kind of burger journalist who becomes convinced that Artisan Burger Co. is using human meat in its burgers. Now this kind of trendy new hipster burger restaurant, and some of the little sample artwork that Alex did for that. This guy here, Harry Melbatoast, who's the owner of the place, he'll be probably popping up as a cameo character in future issues of the series. And there's his wife / business partner, Blossom Melbatoast. So yeah, this was a fun issue to write. The whole thing was scripted, but we never got enough money in the Kickstarter to fund the production of it. And it feels a bit of a kind of spare wheel these days now. So I think it'll be one that kind of gets left in the archives. This is the only time that this ever came close to existing in this book. Then we have Young Team, which is the issue which I actually just finished art on. We have some sample pages, some sample images from that. This is the issue where Mr. Dig returns, I should point out. And it's a really cool issue. I can't wait for you guys to check it out. And finally we have White Dog, which I won't show you anything about since this is the last issue in the run, so there's not much to show on that yet. Then we had various little pull quotes and things from Oxymoron, Love Waste Nightmare, and little kind of creative team bios. And then the back we just had the image of the blue van. No getting the van here. This was pre-getting the van marketing campaign, so very early days. Right, so what else have we got here? So I think that's really cool actually that I've still got that. Nice little cool collector's item, but not for sale, it's mine. And then besides, I can even sell, look at the state of that, I'm just being manhandled to hell. Also got, this is cool, the first ever comic ever made, which is the standard issue 1. But I actually got this I printed at a local printer in Glasgow that never made a comic before. This was when I went to San Diego Comic Con 2010, and it was my second ever comic convention. I went to San Diego Comic Con 2009 just as a fan. Then I went back in 2010 still as a fan, but I took this comic with me and I thought I'll print 50 copies off and I shall see if I can go around, because this is when I had this bright idea that I just walk up to Image Comics and go, here's my comic that I made, please hire me, and they'd be like, yeah John, you're great. So here we go. This is a funny story. This is a copy that my friend Stuart gave me. It's signed by pro wrestler Mick Foley. I don't know why you gave him to sign one comic, but alright. And it's actually black and white because we didn't have a colorist at this point. So it's just kind of like flat colours. So yeah, this is again super rare. And as you can see here, this is the first. I just think it's pretty cool when I put in some like ads for the various creative team that I was working with. And I don't want to show this because I think I may have given a flash by accident. There's like my kind of like address and phone number and stuff in the back here. But yes, so this is literally the first ever comic I ever got printed. I remember that first film when I got this box arrived in the mail. It was like 50 of these. And I kind of like mailing box from, I can't even remember the name of the people that did it anymore. They did the print and demand service, was it not Drive Through Comics? Kablam Comics, they're the people who made them. And so I think it's pretty cool that this was the book that started it all. And it was just kind of like, now here we are, like 8 years later or something, and I'm still making these things. And here we go. This was another convention exclusive. I think I made this as an exclusive for Glasgow Comic Con 2012, which was a standard volume 1 collection of issues 1, 2 and 3. And like super early. This is the first ever collection I got made, and the formatting is kind of weird. I think there was a couple of wee screw ups in the formatting. And it's a kind of weird, kind of like, basic, and it's not glossy covered or anything, it's kind of matte finish. But it was cool having a little trade, and this was when I got the first taste of how fast the profits pile up when you're selling trades rather than floppies, and they kind of got me a taste of that, which I've kind of continued to pursue. So it was a nice little convention because they gave me a very small print run of these. So this might be the only one left of these. What else have we got in here? One second. So much stuff, and it's actually some of the more recent stuff that I'm bringing out now, so brace yourself. Oh, so many comics. And some of the stuff here is stuff that nobody's ever seen, that's never been on sale on the direct market, which makes it even more exciting. There we go. Right, that's it all. No more stuff still to come. Oh wow. Who knew I had so many comics in here? Right. Okay, the order's a bit all over the place because the way I had to haul it out there. But we have, let's see, Oxymoron issue 2. This was a kind of direct market copy. I kept my own kind of personal copy of that. We have Oxymoron issue 1. This was a variant edition done by Joe Mulvey, with the kind of Todd McFarlane kind of homage cover. Got Oxymoron issue 1. This was the Caesar, not the Caesar Feliciano, the C.P. Wilson variant, which is pretty cool. You've got, this was the Sync Arts edition cover, the only Sync Arts edition cover I have, and this one has been drawn on by the great Ryan Lee, who did a kind of really cool rendition of Mr. Big. We've got a Potto doubler again. This one here is the kind of variant cover by Logan Fairburn. This is my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universe comic. Here's the main cover here. What else have I got? This is back to the regular cover of issue 1 of Oxymoron, Lovelace Nightmare. And here is the C.P. Wilson variant of Sync issue 1. It's the only copy I own. Super cool. This was a really hot seller at New York Comic Con. I think people really responded well to this cover. Here's issue 4 of Oxymoron Lovelace Nightmare. This is all out of order, the way I had to haul it out. This is the regular Alex Cormack cover for issue 2 of Oxymoron. This is the Alex Cormack cover for issue 3 of Oxymoron. This is the issue 4 Ian Laurie cover. I love this cover. This is one of my favourite covers that they've done in any book actually that I've been involved in. And I loved it so much that I actually got the original art from Ian, which is on my wall. I'm really proud of that. And let's see. Here's the And Emily Was Gone issue 5 cover, the Ian Laurie cover. And this was the variant cover by Cody Scheibe. And here was the Larian, Larry's Comics issue 1 variant cover that we had at New York Comic Con. And oh, this is cool. This is, I believe, yes, this is the first ever printed edition of An Emily Was Gone issue 1 that we did. This was pre Comics Tribe, pre Diamond, anything like that. This was like the very first edition we did. We only printed off like 100 of these or something, and we did it in black and white and sold it at some shows in Scotland and the UK. And the funny story is that the thing that sealed the deal in An Emily Was Gone getting picked up by Comics Tribe was that Tyler invited me to bring this book with me, so just sit at the corner of the table with all the Comics Tribe stock and we'll see how it does. And it ended up being, that was at New York Comic Con 2013, and it ended up being the hottest seller at our table. It flew off the table and we sold through our supply that I had, so that kind of convinced Tyler that there was an audience for the book, and then we get picked up from there and the book got covered by Megan Wilson, and that's how we carried forward. But I think it's pretty cool that we still have this, like in a little slice of history. And the funny story is that we actually, by the time it got picked up by Comics Tribe, we'd actually managed to do 3 issues this way. So we had issue 2 with the Ian Laurie cover, and that was black and white as well. And we did a small run of that. Here's a Dungeon Fun advert in the inside cover from Colin Bell. And we also did one in issue 3 as well, which, and we've actually had some folk that have said to us at the time, oh, I'll get issues 1, 2, 3 in black and white. Is there any chance you'll have issues 4 and 5 in black and white? I love that panel there. And we've had to tell them that no, we can get picked up by Diamond, so we kind of just has recent colour versions of the book. But yeah, there's not many of these out there anymore, but they might still be in circulation if you look hard enough. I think actually some bookshops in the UK might still have the black and white edition. Maybe if you look in kind of Waterstones in Glasgow City Centre, you might still find one of these long lost black and white first edition runs of An Emily Was Gone. We also have Bad Son, which was the first issue of a never completed series which I did with Chris Connolly. And the funny story of Bad Son was that I had a book launch event in 2013 where I had issue 1 of Bad Son and issue 1 of An Emily Was Gone on sale, and obviously like An Emily Was Gone like really took off and things, but Chris Connolly had a bunch of other commitments and things, so we never actually pursued this any further. But still quite a cool book. It's kind of about like in the future when kind of like aliens kind of live among us, and it's a story about kind of like an alien cop living in Glasgow, and I think it's quite, you know, still quite a cool read. And I could just looking back at this, the way I remember doing this, where me and Chris kind of had to choreograph this fight scene between us at Glasgow Close to try and make it feel authentic, which was quite fun. So yeah, so that's a little kind of like obscure slice of history as well, which I've kept in my collection. Here we have, oh, what's this one? I'm trying to think where this came from. I know this came from. This was this was a pitch book, I'm sure. I think I might have made this as an ash can. I'm not sure if I've ever actually sold this. I made a small amount of them. It was for taking to publishers. I think I was shopping this around at New York Comic Con one year, and was it New York Comic Con 2013 maybe? I think it maybe might have been and this was, we kind of did it up in colour for pitching, and this was the first time Megan Wilson had put some colours on in the book. And we made a small print run. It was just the first issue. Then we had a little kind of pitch for the book and the kind of contact details and the inside front cover. And this was Ian's cover in the back. Yeah, because this was when we first got Riley Rossmore's cover. That was the deal with this. So we decided to put this on like the front to kind of make it pop a bit more. Here is Emma Was Gone issue 0 with the Ryan Stegman cover. This was the Free Comic Book Day book. They had like 50,000 copies sold, which is probably still the biggest the biggest amount of like sales I've had for any book, or sales, you know what I mean. So yeah, that was really cool to have. It was really awesome getting to participate in this, and I still love that page there, so I wanted to keep a note of that. Here is another lost book from the archives, Black Leaf. This was going to be a graphic novel written by me with art by Gary McLaughlin. And it ended up never happening, which was a shame because I still think it's one of the best scripts I've ever written. But it's about this kid whose like grandpa dies, and he decides to use this kind of like strange kind of magical kind of area in his woods to kind of bring his grandpa back to life. But the place is supposed to be used for healing wounds, not for bringing people back from the dead. So things kind of go wrong, and like they start to suspect that it's not his grandpa that's came back. It's something, that's taken his grandpa's place. And it was a really cool script, but then like with the various factors and things, and then my granddad died, and I didn't want to write a story about people's grandpas coming back as monsters, but. I'm still really proud of this. We decided to put together a little kind of package of like the first 20 pages to release as a little kind of preview book again, just for sale at conventions. And I really think that both Colin Bell and Gary Mack did some great work on this, and maybe I'd say I'd revisit it, but to be honest, I've kind of strip mined some of the themes and ideas from it and kind of used them in other stories. Like a lot of an Emily Was Gone's DNA is in this was a kind of earlier version, a kind of rough attempt at it. Here we go, Black Leaf. Ask me one day about this and I might share the whole script on the Patreon page, and then you can check it out for yourself. And here is the Diamond edition of Emily Was Gone one. As you can tell by the barcode and like the kind of comic stripe logo, this was the first version that was released in shops, and a much more polished package, as you can see. And for the Diamond editions, we had these little kind of weird Mexi stories in the inside front covers, which is blatantly kind of inspired by Fraser Campbell's Mothwick. And here is the issue 2 cover, which Nick Patara drew for us. Really cool. This was issue 2. And again, nice polished kind of package, and we've got the Mexi story in the inside front cover again. And here is Ian Laurie's UK edition of Sync issue 1. Very cool. And Ian Laurie did a record. This is the one that we only had on sale from Forbidden Planet. It was the only store that had these. And so I think it was really cool getting to this little exclusive thing with them. And the demand for these has been great. So I wanted to make sure I had a copy of my own from my own personal collection. So yeah, you can see it's a much sturdier package than the regular. Oh, actually, here is the original issue 1. This was the issue 1 of Sync, which we printed off for conventions. This was the first edition we had on sale at New York Comic Con and a couple of other conventions after that. I think only 150 of these were printed. And you can see this one just ends with issue 1 ending, but the kind of Diamond edition has all the kind of cool back matter, all the essays and the kind of like more detailed kind of preview of the following issue. And here we have, for comparison, the regular Alex Cormack. This is the first edition and the second edition, which is one that was released through Diamond, and this one's got the little barcode, the kind of, it's the same credits pairing, it's mainly just the barcode, and like the kind of back cover's more detailed, it's got all the cool quotes and things, so very similar but a little bit more polished. And here we have, randomly out of order, the Nick Patara cover for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universe issue 6. and this is maybe my favourite cover of the series. I think, or of the three that were done, I really love this one. I think Nick did a great job on it. And here is my copy of the Sync issue 2, issue 3 flip book. Again, only very limited edition printed. I think that's me sold. I think I've got one left that I can sell, but other than that, it's just my own personal copy, which I'm keeping. And we have the other cover for Sync 1, Alex Cormac's Clown cover, which I think is really cool and spooky. Oh, here's another random copy of When Emma Was Gone, Zero, another doubler. We put that back in circulation, and I know I've got two. And here's a Quilt Halloween Comic Fest edition. So this one you can see is a bit thinner. It's got the barcode on it, and it has various like ads and things in the back as well. Some back matter, just to kind of make it more substantial. And finally, the last thing in my little collection is Oxymoron Loveless Nightmare issue 3. Cesar Feliciano's cover. And so yeah, I've got like almost everything I've ever worked on. The only things I've not got, obviously, can I actually have these in here? No, I don't. I'm sure I've got like, I did some anthologies for Glow. I think I've got them somewhere. And I've also, the only thing I've not got is issue 4, and then Emma Was Gone. I've not got either cover of that one, so that's the only thing in my collection. Issue 4, Emma Was Gone, and the standard 5/6 kind of double 2-in-1 that they released through Diamond. I've not got that either. But other than that, I've got just about everything I ever worked on, which is pretty cool. And I like to keep a whole kind of record, kind of like my kind of a whole portrait of my history through comics, and I'll keep on doing it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, I hope you found it interesting, and if you've got anything similar, let me know. Bye.